for your lives today? Wow, and a couple of people go, no. Okay, let's try that again. I'm going to split the room into two halves. This is team number 1. This is team number 2. Person at the back just picking you're on team number 1. Perfect. Alright, let's do some noise. Just make sure we're going to enjoy and get involved in this. Everybody is in a good mood on team number 1. Make some noise. 1, 2, 3, go! At the front they're going, he can see me. At the back going, no chance, I'll just ignore it. Right, team number 2, let's see if we can beat that. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go! Not bad. Let's join everybody together as one big family with different mums and dads, obviously. Ready? Team 1 and 2. Everybody in the house, you can have some fun today. 1, 2, 3, go! Excellent, and that's all we're going to do for the next hour. I'm joking. Here's what I want to share with you before we start anything. I don't really hand out business cards, I don't really connect with people in the same way, because I end up with a big pile of cards like that, and like you, I'm super busy. But I can invite everybody here, if you want to get a copy of my presentation, or you want to connect with me, just join the tribe on LinkedIn. Very simple, Dave Crane's tribe on LinkedIn. Also, if you have your phone with you now, and you go to your browser, if you put in thedavecrane.com, then this page will show up and you can connect with me directly. It's better than a business card because you can find me anywhere on LinkedIn, Skype, whatever it is you decide to do. So that's a connection bit. What I want to do with you is a couple of different things. Now I'm going to say nothing. I just want you to look carefully and see what happens. Go on. I thought you were all joining in together. I thought we had a bit of practice on that. Everybody do this exercise. Right, I can tell by the giggles of people that are doing it. Another thing about life is this. I don't expect you to practice that right now. Maybe this. Go on. Go on. You know you want it.
I tried.
It's all on camera as well. Feels good to be silly sometimes, doesn't it? Now here's the thing, life is much more fun when you play it like a big game. Now I'm a hypnotist as well, I'm not going to do that today. I'm just going to do some fun stuff with you. But this is basically how your mind works. If you imagine your mind to be like an iceberg, with this bit above the surface, and that's the water, and that's the bit below. How many people have seen Titanic before, the movie? Okay, how many, keep your hand up, keep your hand up. How many people have only seen it once? Only twice? 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6, 7, 8. Have you not got Netflix or anything else to watch? Okay, well, good, thank you very much for that. Interesting movie. We'll be talking about Titanic a little bit more as we progress throughout this. Because welcome to the Titanic. Now that's not about my presentation today, hopefully at least anyway. The reason I call it Titanic is because most organisations around the world have not got their head around the importance of change, of changing the way they relate to each other, the way they relate to the industry, and most importantly, the way you relate to yourself. I went out in front of that. How many people here from a financial department? How many CFOs and accountant people do you have? Quite a few. I went out in front of a room full of about 300 CFOs from right across the Middle East and beyond. And I went in front of them and said, do you know that your business is like a Titanic and it'll be gone between 5 and 10 years? And it didn't go down very well. They didn't like it, but I'll show you, explain exactly what I mean to you. That was the Titanic. Now if you look at this picture, you might not be able to see it very clearly, but you don't need to. Here we have the captain. There you go, Edward John Smith. Now he said before the Titanic sank, He said, this is going to be my last ever journey. Now, a big hint for you, if you ever get on a boat, and that's what you hear from the captain, or you get on a plane and say, I hope you're sitting comfortably, let me tell you this, it's not a good plan. Now, if you've seen the movie, you'll be aware that that was the boat. Here was the bit where Leonardo DiCaprio stood and said, King of the world. And here, there weren't enough lifeboats or enough life. It was quite clear it wasn't going to work. But the amazing thing is, for all of us, we have the hints at what's going to work for our business and our lives right now. But most people don't take it. But time is ticking. And your competition is you versus yourself. It does seem to be about the world, but it's not really. Because everybody's asking the same question in life, what's in it for me? So let me just share with you why it's so important to reinvent and think differently about yourself. Now, many of you might recognize this. It's a classroom. And we were all taught to do one thing very specially. Sit down and behave. And when you watch the teacher talking, you pretty much sit like this. Because from my point of view, standing here as a speaker, because I train people to do public speaking, and I say to them, so, what do you think an audience looks like when they're happy? They say, I don't know. I said, like this. And when they're sad, they look like this. And when they're intrigued and fascinated, and when they're going to run forward and kill you, well, then they start moving. So it's always the same, but we were taught to think like that. It's how we were all meant to behave, and how we were all meant to stay in our seats. But here's where the problem is. We were promised that if you worked really hard at school, then you worked really hard with your exams, then you get the opportunity to go to a really good university. Get to a really good university, and then you get the opportunity to appeal for a really good job, and then you got a really good career. And it's guaranteed you can have 2.4 kids, I don't know what the 0.4 is, and you can have your cars, you can have your holidays, and your retirement. How many people believe that was kind of what we were promised, doing all the stuff at school? Quite a lot of us, yeah? Well, here's the thing. It's moved, and nobody told us. We were given a comfort zone and a safety zone. The safety zone is you do all of those things and life will be good. And you have a comfort zone inside it. But if you haven't worked it out by now, everything's moved. Not only is the comfort zone different, and you've got to push it and change it to be able to move out of it, but everything else has moved even further. Now, the safety zone is over here. Whereas everyone's comfort zone is still here. If you do the same things that you've done throughout your entire life, it's no longer going to be good enough. So we have a challenge on our hands. We have to make those changes. We have to think differently. We have to take risks. One of my favorite phrases is jump and grow wings on the way down. So part of that is to reinvent your relationship with work. Now, work has always been simple. You work for a company, you give it your best shot, la 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 la. But now it's going to change. If you want to be more successful, what you have to do is treat work completely differently. Now you've got to become an artist. I believe that everybody here is going to find out how good their art is later on this afternoon. Can't wait to see that. But this is where it comes really differently. Imagine that you were a plumber. Now, a plumber, and I don't know because I'm not a plumber, would normally go along and fix a sink. Sink's leaking, opens the cupboard, goes under and fixes it. Done, there's your money, thank you, goodbye. Now a plumber has to come up with something different to make it more relevant and to be noticed in a world where everybody's doing the same thing. So for instance, the plumber may turn up